You guys, we have Dylan faithful as frick Efron! I remember exactly a year ago, almost, we were at dinner with friends and you were like, I got the call to be on Traitors. And I was freaking out at the table. I was like, you have to say yes. So there's one episode left and there's the reunion. We just saw Tom get murdered and you left us on a cliffhanger. So explain to me, you figured out that Danielle and Carolyn were the traitors.
Yeah.
Like a while back. What made you guys go for Carolyn instead of Danielle?
Look, that was such a hard decision, but at that point, for me personally, I had a better feel on what Danielle would do next. So I thought Danielle might recruit Brittany or me.
Okay.
I had no idea what Carolyn would do. So I had kind of laid the groundwork with Danielle, like, hey, if it goes to final 3, you, me, and Brittany, I'm gonna throw stones. I wanna end the game with you, Danielle. Okay. So it was just like a lot of groundwork that I had laid out with Danielle that I wasn't gonna vote her out.
Have you seen this tweet here?
They don't look at you like Tom Sandoval looks at Dylan Efron. They ain't worth it.
He's like, that's my man right
Dude,
there.
I didn't know much of Tom Sandoval before I got there.
Okay, so I know that you would call your girlfriend on those like phone calls that you got. Did she tell you anything about Scandival?
She told me about one podcast he was on, I think it was the Vile Files. And that I listened to about 10 minutes of a Vile File podcast. So I meet him for the first time, I was like, oh, you look familiar. And he's like, oh, you probably know, I was mentioned in the White House, all these things. And I was like, oh, I listened to a podcast you're on, which apparently I shouldn't have said, but that's Tom. Like, people are so mean to him and it just falls off his shoulder.
I mean, he had quite the redemption arc from this show. I think he won a lot of people back with that baby doll bird singing thing. I think I was crying that episode.
So like, we hear the mission and then it takes an hour before that mission starts. Alan reads the mission, immediately he starts doing vocal warm-ups. And we're all just like, no, like stop. He goes to the medic, he's like, I need a cough drop. And we're just like, Tom, like we've got an hour, bro, like stop. But that's Tom. He gives 100%.
Has Bob the Drag Queen said anything to you since leaving the show?
You are misguided. That should be your drag name, Misguided.
We talked about maybe bringing Misguided to life, which would be...
What does that look like? Please give us some insight.
We'll see. I'm only going to do it with him, so we'll see what we come up with.
You know that everyone has been shipping you and Sierra online. You're a taken man. You broke everyone's hearts. But she did say, she was like, that man is too outdoorsy for me. Is there ever a moment where you're saying to yourself, I'm outside too much?
It's the opposite. I get mad at myself that I'm indoors too much.
Really? How did you get into the great outdoors?
My brother and I are so lucky to be raised in San Luis Obispo where it's so accessible. So we were always going to the lake, to a river to fish, just camping.
What does your family make of all of this?
They're having so much fun. My dad's mad at me because I haven't been home since the show came out. Because the last year I was coming home nonstop because I've got a little brother and sister and I love them to death. But since the show aired, I haven't actually gone home. And so they text me just saying like, we loved the episode, but when are you coming home?
Okay, there's another photo that broke the internet, and let's just say gay Twitter went insane over it. What was going on here? Who took the photo? Was there some convincing? Was that a pose that you came up with? What's happening?
My girlfriend took the photo. This was more that I'm trying to make her laugh as she's taking photos. And then a couple months later, I was like, oh, I never posted that. It's kind of funny. Hid it in a carousel and then the show comes out. It was found out pretty quick.
I'm shocked every finale of Traitors. Is this one gonna shock me just as much as previous seasons?
I think Alan said the season's so intense, but the ending is so different than the rest of the show. And I think he kind of summed it up perfectly. It's a very strange ending. It shouldn't have happened what happened.
Wait, that's really weird that you say that. It shouldn't have happened what happened? Now my interest is even more piqued. I didn't think I could be more curious.
I wouldn't have ever predicted this ending.
Catch up on the rest of Dylan's adventure on Traitors, only on Peacock.
Thanks for having me.
You're the best.